Okay,
Good morning. Just about, I'm Hannah, I'm in Crawley, the school in Crawley, and I'm going to be looking at how confidence is affected by intervention. So, my school turned up a couple of years ago and they do obviously mocks, and a lot of the 6-mark questions, because I'm a science teacher, they just left. Our lower ability ones were like, can't do them, don't know what to do, don't know how to answer it, so they just left them. And I was thinking, well, that's not right, we need to build them up. And that's basically where I've come from with my master's thing. Our school is very high in SEN, really, really above average. I can't remember off the top of my head what the figure is. But they're just lower aspirations, they're low achieving, they've got no confidence in themselves, so we've got to try and build it up. So one of the ways the school does it is through running intervention sessions. The students are chosen by the school to attend, so they don't get any choice in it. Whether they actually turn up is another matter, but we're looking at Wave 2 intervention, so I was looking at how these students are affected by that. So my 3 research questions are, what's the impact? Does intervention actually increase their confidence to try and have a go at these 6-mark questions? Second one, well, what's affected by it? Is there something in that intervention session that will make them more or less confident? For example, the number of people. For example, who actually attends. For example, how the teacher teaches them. So that bit, I'll come on to in a second. I was looking at answering questions at the beginning and at the end. Actually, I'll come on to that in a sec. And the last one, well, if this is actually helping or hindering, what can we do for future interventions to help them make progress and increase their confidence? So I chose to do it interpretistic style. I can't say that word. After 3 years, still can't say it. Interpretive. That word. Ooh. Style. So because I'm going to be interviewing students and taking my own opinion, they're going to have different truths to myself. So it's very subjective, obviously. But that will pop up later again. I'm doing it as a case study, so I didn't actually implement anything and change my practice from it. So I didn't do action research. It's mixed method because I did quantitative and qualitative. I based it on observations by myself as the teacher, did student interviews, so qualitative, and then student questionnaires. So it was really small scale. Because I couldn't choose my students, I just got given the intervention session, 8 participants only. Fortunately, they all said that, yeah, I can take their data, so that was helpful. And we just ran it over 3 sessions. So I had 3 different topics, and that was another thing that I could see for research question too, whether that influenced them. So at the beginning, they were given an exam question. I asked them to do the questionnaire, fill in some questions, how do they feel now? We ran the intervention session, and then at the end I asked them the same block of questions to see if they'd improved or not. During that as well, I took some observations, so I recorded out of those 8 students, who did I think had low confidence? Who came in and went, well, I'm going to fail? And who went, oh yeah, I can totally nail this question? As well as during the session, who asked questions, who answered questions, so who got involved. And then at the end, I know it was only 8, but I randomly chose 2 of them to come back and have a little conversation with me as part of my interview. Okay, so kind of as I expected, confidence did go up, or that was what the finding was, and that was both from my data through the observations as well as what the students wrote in their questionnaire. So I'll come back to that in a second when I talk about my research questions. The interviews are themed and coded, so I went large to small if you came to any of those sessions, and that helped me to get kind of really rich data which I could then link to others. So question 1, which was, does it make a difference? Did coming to the intervention sessions actually help confidence? Well, short answer is yes, it did. Long answer, so there was a shift. I've got a graph that I'll show in a minute, but yes, most people, wherever they were lower ability when they came in, medium ability when they came in, they had an increased confidence at the end. This is an example. So for my questionnaire, I asked them 7 questions. One of them was, I could write a written answer to this question. So this is the pre-session. Oh, it didn't move, yeah. So I asked them in each session, so the first session is blue, and everyone was like, yeah, okay, I feel quite confident about this one. And at the end, we had a shift towards the strongly agree. I decided to do like it was the easiest for them to understand as well as using words. So, second one, most people on the second session couldn't answer the question to start with. So that's the red one here. But again, we had a positive shift. Still some people a little bit in the middle. So that's quite interesting because they just don't know still. And the last session, no one could answer that question at the beginning. And then again, shifted towards that, yeah, I can have a go at this question now. I would write an answer, which is obviously what we wanted to see if we could improve on. Other questions I asked included, I reckon I could get 50% in this question. Again, a positive shift. I could get 80% because of the 8 students, a couple of them, 3 were grade A and B. So we're looking at 80% if we want them to achieve their target. So I also did, oh hello. Excuse me. Let's just put that there for a sec, sorry. There we go, sorry. Also, this is from my results, so as the observation, I took them at the beginning and I thought, right, I think you've got low confidence, you look really, really like a bit sheepish about this, where you are at the end. So most of them made an improvement. I've highlighted in red the one that didn't, obviously because if you're in high confidence at the beginning, you can't really improve, but they didn't go down. Some of them stayed, low confidence at the beginning, and some of them stayed medium. So, okay, yes, when they wrote, most of them moved, but some of them stayed the same, so, you know, pinch of salt with everything, isn't it? Confidence, in general, improved, however. So, second research question, what affects them? So, from my interview, which was kind of my main piece of information, I made 7 things. Did they have prior knowledge? Did they come into that intervention session knowing something about the content? Then they were more likely to feel confident. Second one, well, who was in there? It was a mixture of boys and girls, 5 to 3, 5 boys, 3 girls. If they were friends, they were more likely to get involved, more confident. The wording of the question. In science, they ask these questions, they're just like, I have no idea what that means. I'll come back to that. Attempting the question, so confidence, obviously, they want to have a go, can they access it? Use of words, for example, hard, difficult, panic, struggle, blah, 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 and that changed to, yeah, I'll have a go, blah, blah, blah. Engagement, were they interested? Did it make a difference whether they wanted to have a go because they were talking about, I don't know, stars rather than facts? I'm a chemistry teacher, so we don't talk about stars. And grades. Did it make a difference where you pitched it? So this is a C question, this is a D question, blah, blah, blah. So it mattered. I rated them, so I put them in order. Prior knowledge is probably the most important from what the interview questions came out with. And most of it came from both interviewees. So I had student A and student K, and they both came out with that. Did it back up the literature? Yes, because my overarching person was called Bandura. He does a lot of work on motivation and self-determining theory. So a couple of quotes. Student K said, I don't need to put my hand up every 2 seconds, I can have a go. So if she doesn't need to do that, it implies she's got the confidence to try. So that kind of falls under your attempting and your emotions. And then student A, if you're in a small group, you kind of listen to each other a bit more, you can get a bit more out. Although that doesn't match all the literature. because the implication of the literature is that class size doesn't actually matter until you get to a one-on-one basis, which obviously is not practical. Okay. We're going to move on to question 3. So what would I take to the future? So thinking about questionnaires, observations, and most importantly, interviews, do it more often. Do it on a smaller scale if you can, and do more. By that I mean, okay, so this is the topic we're going to do this lesson, or this session I should say. Next session we need to do something else, but we might recap that in a different set of time. Wrong answer, you need to do it from year 7. This is a focus at the moment on year 11 because you're the exam group. Exams, GCSEs, you need to do well. But actually, from the interviews, they're saying, no, you should start it in year 7. I'm hoping I've got a quote. There we go. It's better to go once a month rather than do it all at the end. We've also got making it compulsory. Focus on the exam work, so building it into the lessons as well as, so wave 1 intervention as well as the wave 2. And think about how the group will influence. So if you've got that really annoying kid who's like just not listening, sitting in the back, they are going to influence everyone. So maybe you could do it at a different session. What was really interesting, one of the students was like, I think you should come in the holidays. Come in for revision sessions in the holidays. I was like, awesome. So in April, I was like, right, I'm doing it on this day, and 3 students turned up. Yeah. And this was linking to compulsory. So sometimes you don't want to go, but if you know you have to, it does increase your confidence in eventually because you're kind of being poured information. So yeah, it backs up most of the literature apart from the little bit about class size. So what have I learned? Does improve confidence, to attempt the questions at least. How confident am I? Well, there are a couple of ones that are a little bit dodgy where they didn't move, but you would expect that. I think it depends on also the time of day of the sessions and how the students are feeling. The ones that were really important, prior knowledge and motivation, and Bandura talks about the importance of internal motivation rather than me telling you, which makes a little bit of a difference. And it needs to continue because it gives them that more knowledge, that confidence that you can go and ask and know what the question is asking you, so you'll have a go. I did it as didactic style. There was cooperative involved in it, but we didn't really focus on that because I was more about how confidence is affected, but just a little bit. Thinking about the Hawthorne effect, so obviously I was doing insider research, so were they influenced by me? Probably a little bit, but at the same time if they had someone come in, because I know my students, someone had come in to interview them that they didn't know, it would put their back up, so I decided to do it myself. Very small, so I can't make massive, jump from small scale research up to the larger scale. However, for this school, I can make considerations from my future practice on intervention sessions and also within the school other subjects. Okay, I'll just talk about that. Okay, I want to keep doing intervention sessions, hopefully with a small group, and I'm going to use this information. For example, we need to focus on wording, prior knowledge, making sure they've got those bases before. It's also changed my practicing methods, I should say, as well, because now I go, right, this is the exam question we're going to focus on. I need them to have the confidence to have a go at it, so let's practice it. I'll do it that way. And I know I'm a master's student now because I reference everything. So there you go. That's all.
Sorry.